সবাইকে ক্লাইমেট চ্যানেলে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি। আমি আজকে এখানে আছি যে সাতকরা নামে একটি বাংলাদেশি রেস্টুরেন্ট, সেইটার আনুষ্ঠানিক উদ্বোধন হলো। এটি বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটির জন্য আরেক ধাপ এগিয়ে যাওয়া। এই অনুষ্ঠানে, এই উদ্বোধনী অনুষ্ঠানে টরন্টোর বিশেষ করে স্কারবোরোর পাশ দিয়ে যত রাজনৈতিক নেতারা ছিলেন, নেতৃবৃন্দ ছিলেন, অনেক বিভিন্ন দল মতের রাজনৈতিক নেতৃবৃন্দ এখানে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন। এর মধ্যে আছেন অন্টারিও গভর্নমেন্টের অ্যাসোসিয়েট মিনিস্টার অফ হাউজিং মিস্টার বিজয়। ওয়েলকাম টু ক্লাইমেট চ্যানেল, বিজয়।
Thank you, Sanjoy. Thanks for having me at the Climate Channel interview. I just want to wish all the Climate Channel viewers a very happy New Year. It's great to be here at the Shatkora's grand opening for the Bangladesh cuisine. So I heard the owner of Shatkora, the Tanzina. Her story is an inspiring story to me personally because I heard she started here as a catering business from her house, and today she's establishing her first restaurant in Scarborough. This is a story that I think we should all celebrate. This is a Scarborough story. This is definitely a Canadian story. So it's a good thing that as a Climate Channel media, you are supporting the community members.
Yeah, we are always supporting the community as well as the local business. We serve a program that's called is Toronto Market Palace.
Toronto Marketplace.
Yeah,
Amazing.
just we are promoting. Just I want to ask you, you told a few minutes ago a new announcement for the community. Can you share again?
Absolutely. So right now we are in Scarborough Rouge Park. That's where the Shatkora has been opened here. So in Scarborough, if you look at last decades, Scarborough has been a neglected part of city of Toronto. We like when I immigrated to Canada, I came to Scarborough. I think most of us we came to Scarborough. But if you look at downtown and other parts of city of Toronto, is very developed. But Scarborough is not. That's why after 30 years of inaction, first time in Scarborough, we are building underground Scarborough subway connecting from Kennedy all the way to McEwan and Shepherd. We already start tunneling underground from Shepherd and McEwan, going underneath 401. The tunneling started happening. We already surpassed 401 road. We are reaching Kennedy. And just 10 minutes from Shatkora on Morningside and Military Trail, we are building Sanjoy, this is the first ever medical school because I just spoke to Sanjoy before. The last time a medical school was built here in Toronto was in 1843. That's almost like 170 plus years before. And since then, the population in Toronto, Sanjoy, is not double or triple. It went 10 times higher. But like parents, they work here, they pay tax here. But let's say one of your kid or one of the viewers' kid, if they had to go to become a doctor, is really limited seats here, so they had to fly to America, Cuba or other countries, Ireland, to become a doctor. So we were like, Premier Ford and our government, like, why we had to fly to other countries when the parents pay tax here? So we looked at the books, and Scarborough did not have a medical school. Toronto was built in 1843, so we started building a new medical school in partnership with Ontario government, Scarborough Health Network, and University of Toronto Scarborough campus. And then we already started the construction. Right now, the building infrastructure has completed for 6 stories, Sanjoy, and
When it will formally open?
2026 is the opening time. But the kids who are applying to become a doctor, they can apply now, and they will study the first year in downtown Toronto at the St. George campus, and then after that they will be shift to 2026 for Scarborough campus. So from 2026, Scarborough Medical School is officially open, and that will make sure kids can go to high school, they can go to university, they can become a doctor here in Scarborough, and they can serve back.
That's great news.
It's a great news.
I hope it will change the scenario of Ontario, just a health crisis, doctor crisis problem.
Yeah, this issue, we recognize this issue even before COVID pandemic. But we know how come in the previous any government or almost 200 years they missed to build a medical school when the population is growing exponentially. And that's why we think this is one of the most important project, because right now in your community, if you're watching this from Scarborough, you know if your daughter wants to become a doctor, she doesn't have to fly away, stay away from the family for 10 years or 5 to 10 years. They can just become a doctor and serve back here, because in Scarborough we need a lot of doctors, nurses and other healthcare professionals. So that's why this is a game changer project that's happening, almost finished in a year or two.
Thank you, Bijoy. I want to thank your government and your initiative. Now I want to ask another question. You are Associate Minister of Housing, but Ontario and basically Toronto is facing a lots of housing crisis here. How are you gonna solve this problem?
There is no secret, there is a housing crisis in Canada, in Ontario as well, and Premier Doug Ford joined with all the other premiers in Canada. Premier Doug Ford is a big advocate to bring the interest rate down, because first of all, people are struggling to pay every month. So right now the interest rate came down, but Sanjoy, that is not enough. We need to bring down more. So because of the interest rate, there are a lot of new builders building condos, semi-detached, detached houses. They had to pause their construction because people are not buying all these houses. So right now, Premier tasked me with the Associate Minister of Housing role to make sure we not only build traditional detached, semi-detached condo, but we also look at the
go high rise. Yeah?
Oh yeah, no, we also look at technology in the housing sector. What that means is, Sanjoy, you know how we build cars in the factory? We can build houses in the factory. In Sweden, in Japan, they've been doing it for decades, and the quality is much stronger than traditional build, and the cost is much cheaper, and we can build it much faster and is energy efficient as well. So the technologies out there like modular technology, and even the new emerging technology like 3D printing technology, we can use this technology to build houses faster, because the demand is for houses are high, the supply is low, and so we have to make sure our government is using all the tools in the toolbox in the housing sector to build more houses, and that is affordable as well. That's why I'm here to make sure we build more houses. In winter times you can't build houses, so that's why we want to build houses in the factories like Japan, and these are beautiful, Sanjay. These are not like a small box. These are beautiful and stronger houses, much cheaper as well.
Okay, I want to ask another question. Which question is the Toronto citizen? The Toronto building and housing sector rate is very high. It is not only for high interest rate, it may be for land cost and other cost. How can it going down? How you help?
Our government is a big advocate to bring down the tax, the property tax, but I cannot comment on what the mayor of Toronto is doing. I know in my riding, Scarborough Rouge Park, I can speak what my constituents are talking to me. Scarborough Rouge Park, as a city of Toronto riding, they are pretty much struggling after the property tax went up. So that is not something we support. We want to make sure we support the people. We want to give back. That's why even New Year, Premier Doug Ford has announced that we want to give back, put the money back into people's pocket by giving $250, because these are the monies that people pay through tax. We are the only government, Sanjoy, in the history. We have never raised a tax as Ontario government, and we will never do that, because we want to make sure we put money back into people's pocket, and that's why we have introduced one fare. For example, if you're taking transit from Scarborough to Vaughan or Mississauga, you pay double, triple fare, but Premier Doug Ford and our government introduced one fare. With one ticket, you can go anywhere in GTA. That saves $1,600 every year.
It's a new information for the community. আমি এত সময় কথা বলছিলাম টরন্টোর হাউজিং অ্যাসোসিয়েট মিনিস্টার বিজয়ের সঙ্গে। তো তিনি বিভিন্ন বিষয়ে কথা বলেছেন, বিশেষ করে নতুন কিছু তথ্য দিয়েছেন। তার মধ্যে আছেন যে স্কারবোরোতে একটি মেডিকেল স্কুল চালু হচ্ছে, তার মানে বাংলাদেশে আমরা যেটাকে মেডিকেল কলেজ বলি, এই মেডিকেল কলেজে এখানকার স্টুডেন্টরা ভর্তি হতে পারবেন। এর ফলে যেটা হবে সেটা হলো যে স্কারবোরো থেকে বা টরন্টো থেকে ডাক্তার হওয়া আরও সহজ হবে, সেই সাথে ডাক্তারদের যে ক্রাইসিস সেটা আরও কমে আসবে। এর পাশাপাশি তিনি আরও বেশ কিছু তথ্য দিয়েছেন, বলেছেন যে এখন আমরা যে পেস্টো কার্ডটা ব্যবহার করি সেটা শুধুমাত্র টরন্টো সিটির মধ্যে কাজ করে। তিনি বলছেন যে এই পেস্টো কার্ড দিয়ে জিটিএতে একই টিকিটে জিটিএ ঘোরা যাবে। এর সঙ্গে তার সঙ্গে কথা বলেছিলাম হাউজিং ক্রাইসিস নিয়ে। তিনি বলেছেন যে ইন্টারেস্ট রেট কমার পাশাপাশি তারা চেষ্টা করছেন হাউজিংয়ে নতুন নতুন টেকনোলজি ইন্ট্রোডিউস করতে, যার ফলে দ্রুত অল্প খরচে অল্প সময়ের মধ্যে হাউজিং ক্রাইসিসটা কমে আসতে পারে। তো ক্লাইমেট চ্যানেলের সঙ্গেই থাকুন উন্নয়ন সংবাদ এবং মানুষের সমস্যা সমাধানের জন্য আমরা সবসময় চেষ্টা করে থাকি, পথ দেখিয়ে থাকি।